Howdy lads and ladies. I will admit, this has been on my computer for the past 2 weeks and I just haven't gotten around to it, but no judgment. Hi, how's it going? Season 1 of Date A Live came out alongside the other spring releases of last year and is basically a not-so-sappy harem anime. Which is cool and I was so excited to watch it. Shiro Itsuka lives with his little sister in a world not entirely unlike ours, minus the spacequakes. So spacequakes are basically unexpected and unexplained earthquakes that happen in space and wreak havoc on the Earth. So naturally there are, set protocols to make sure people don't get caught up in them and die and stuff. I mean, I'd like to avoid dying. Dying is my least favorite thing to do. During one of these evacuations, he thinks that his little sister might have actually been outside and caught up in the spacequake. So, like an idiot, he goes out into the spacequake and tries to find his little sister. But lo and behold, instead of finding his little sister, he finds that the spacequakes are actually caused by a really powerful and attractive girl spirit with people that are trying to kill her. Not only just people, but one of his classmates, which is kind of freaking scary and terrifying. Oh, and as if that isn't weird enough, his little sister is actually a ruthless commander which is in charge of a secret organization to try and subdue these powerful spirits, and they actually need Shiro to seal their powers with a kiss, because why not? Sounds like something I would think of in the shower. Anyway, straight off the bat, this anime was freaking hilarious. So as I mentioned before, Shiro actually has to train himself to date these girls and kiss them in order to seal their powers, because he has some kind of, I don't know why, they haven't really explained it yet. So to date the girls, Shiro trains himself using a dating sim. So when he's actually on a date with a girl, they use a dating sim style format. If you've played any dating sim before or have any knowledge, it's basically what you would expect. If you're unfamiliar with the format, basically during dating sims you have a series of choices, usually 3, and depending on which you choose, your character will react in a different way, and you generally have to please the other character, but often there will be really, really stupid decisions, and they're usually funny and crude, and it's cool. Anyway, so Shiro has to use the dating sim format to choose a line of dialogue, and I friggin' loved it! It was so cool and funny! I mean, the whole idea that you can pick up girls the same way as you would in a dating sim is freaking insane, and they poke fun at that idea and completely exploit it, and it often leads to making some really weird decisions, because quite often they will choose the most crude decision and it leads to one thing and another, and then it just spirals out of control. But it's great and hilarious. To be honest though, I wasn't all too impressed with the first episode. To me, it looked like your normal run-of-the-mill harem anime, and it didn't feel like anything was different about it minus the supernatural girls, and that kind of annoyed me, and I was instantly disappointed when I finished it. But since I have a 3-episode policy, I continued. After the first episode, the show completely turned on its head and proved you wrong, and I love that about it, and although I didn't quite get it, I was totally okay with it. Why you would put a first episode in that didn't really represent the rest of the anime very well, I'm not entirely sure, but hey, whatever, as long as it changed. Okay, so we get that it was funny, but at the same time it was able to handle serious situations very well, and I was so surprised and happy about that. Instead of shoving emotions down your throat and practically screaming at you, "You have to feel this way!" it trusts the intelligence of its audience. Which is really good, since the last anime I reviewed, The World is Still Beautiful, have a look if you haven't seen it. Shameless plug. No, that anime was a good example of how not to invoke emotional reactions, but this one did it quite well. So yay, Date A Live, woo! And you don't expect that from a harem anime usually. An example of this is when one character, I'm not gonna say who, it's pretty early though, so don't worry about it, shoots another character, and that character completely breaks down. I mean, the anime doesn't switch to like 20 different angles and reactions and, spend the next 20 minutes like screaming and crap. It just focuses on the 2 people that were most affected and focuses in on them, and they don't overreact, they just react in an understated and completely appropriate fashion. Like any harem anime, Date A Live covers the main character bases, and I'm completely okay with that. I mean, come on, it's a harem anime, you've got to come into it expecting that. What I do have an issue with, however, is the fact that as the series went on, it went away from Toka a lot, which was really freaking annoying. I mean, again, it's a harem anime, but it's skipped around a little bit too much for my liking, especially when you get the impression from very early on, might I add, that Toka is going to be a leading lady in this anime, and she really should be, and she's not, and they did that really badly. No, thank you, people. And Shido wasn't a blank character. Again, in case you're new with the genre, harem animes usually have a blank protagonist so that people watching the anime can easily insert themselves into the situation, and so it becomes a more personal experience. That can be done well, like in Oran High School, where Haruhi was kind of a blank character, or it can be done really terribly, like in Diabolic Lovers, when I can't even remember her name because that anime was not good. But yeah, no, she was just needlessly submissive and dull and boring. But hey, I'm pretty sure people weren't watching that anime for the plot development, if you know what I mean. But if you're into that, go. My point being, Dead Alive gave Shido a personality, but not so much to which you could not slot yourself into random situations. He was just a genuinely nice guy, and someone a lot of people could probably easily relate to. I mean, he was a good guy. He wanted to save everyone, even if that meant having to seduce random girls to do it, which sounds weird, but you'll understand if you watch the anime. The animation for the fight scenes were great. I mean, if you watch nothing else, go and watch the fight scenes, because they're pretty spot on. I mean, good job. And I thought the character design was pretty cool as well. I think all the characters were pretty beautiful. I mean, they fit their archetypes pretty much dead on, but they had a little pizzazz to them as well. Pizzazz? Did I say pizzazz? Whatever. We're going with it. Pizzazz. They had pizzazz. The plot was a little bit predictable, but hey, I still enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it if this sounds like your kind of deal. And that's all I had to say about that. Like and favourite if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want more, and tell me in the comments, have you watched this anime? Would you watch this anime? What'd you think of the anime? I thought it was really good, and I'm gonna watch second season two, whatever. It's gonna be watched and reviewed, possibly. If it's too similar to this one, I'm just gonna leave it at this. But we'll see how we go. That is the end. That is the end. That is the end. Goodbye! Oh, and I dyed my hair again.